like cultural favorites, like whatever's popular in society. He's like, oh, I agree with that. Like I have like a lot of edgy takes that if I was probably bigger in social media, I'd probably get in trouble for it, canceled for. Because the general population probably wouldn't like it. But on the outside, thing like side, like what? Speak. What do you mean, like what? So you stay canceled? I mean, first of all, like I mean, do you guys want me just to go through and say all the hot takes I have? You guys want me like, oh, this is all the fucking takes I have that are probably not very popular. I mean, I guess like one off the top of my head is like, I think like most people who are like going through like most people who fucking have like a mental health problem are probably just fucking lazy. With some of them, I'm curious. I think probably most people who have like mental health issues nowadays are just like lazy and uneducated, lost. So I think that would ruffle a lot of people. I think that like fuck, I don't know how far you guys want me to go. I have some pretty conspiratorial ideas and things like that. Yeah, I disagree with that. Yeah, I think a lot of people would disagree with that. And that's why they're controversial. The video I posted, was it yesterday, today? Do trans athletes have an advantage in sports? I think they do. I think that's a pretty hot take right now. I have super fucking hot takes when it comes to fucking politics, but I don't really talk about politics anymore on stream. More just like societal stuff, like that's a yes, obviously. Well, like I said, a lot of people aren't going to say that anymore, Tish. Like there are people who could. Why are you eating the mic though? Is that a good joke? Chat, what do we give that one? I think in certain sports there could be advantages, but others not really. It just depends on the sport. I think mental illness is overdiagnosed nowadays. Yeah, I agree. We call social politics a lot. Yeah, I guess you could call it social politics. I like to more talk about what's like societal issues. Because like, anytime you say politics, it makes people... What? Bro, that's what I just said. What Mighty said. He just said it in a different way. But Tish wants his cake and eat it too. What is it saying? That they don't. Lol. Well, wait, how do you guys disagree with me then? Mighty worded it better. JK, how do you disagree with what I said? Most people who have like a mental health problem, it's because they're fucking lazy. Like I guess he said overdiagnosed. Exactly, so they don't have a problem. Yeah, they don't have any. So if it's overdiagnosed, those are incorrect diagnoses. People hide by mental... Exactly, like I think people with mental illness aren't as safe as they need to be. They're faking mental health disorders. I mean, like, I guess like lazy is not a good word. When I think of lazy, I think of it very broadly. Like, I feel like a lot of people are gonna like fucking like pawn their problems off onto mental disorders, and I find that's lazy because they're not dealing with it. Like, people would rather take a pill than do the work to get healthy. I find that lazy. You suck at wording things, saying lazy and do it them. Professional did it. You're saying they were just straight up lazy and do it themselves. They do. I mean, they do both. Like, I think a lot of people like. So here's what I'll tell you guys. The stigma around medication. Oh, medication stigmatized. Like mental health. I think mental health right now is like, I don't know. I think it's like promoted. I think it's like cool to have mental health issues. Is it lazy? No, I wouldn't say it's lazy, but like the thing is, like, if you go to like someone like a doctor for your mental health, and you're like, oh, like, do I have anxiety? Do I have this? Do I have that? And they're like, yes, you have depression. Here's how you deal with it. Here's a pill, or here's this, or here's that. And you just say, oh, you take that, and you don't like go any farther. You don't try to help yourself. You don't try to improve. Like, the pill is not like doesn't fix the root of the problem, if that makes sense. Like, to really deal with a mental issue, you have to find out what the problem is. You got to make physical, mental effort every day. It takes months, years to change. Being medicated is lazy. No, I think taking a medication instead of dealing with certain problems is considered lazy, in my opinion. Just exercise more, stop taking your meds, doctors are lying to you, get more money, blah, 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 bullshit, bullshit, bullshit. I mean, like I said, I don't know about that, your circumstance, but I know like a lot of circumstances, a lot of the reason why people are depressed, or they think they're depressed, or they think they have anxiety, or they think of this XYZ, is because of, like, I guess laziness isn't the best word, but like, when I think of like laziness as like the root of a lot of people's problems. Because like laziness to me is like not wanting to learn, not wanting to better yourself, not wanting to move forward. Should be the last line. You completely erase your issue, but if it helps you go out about your day, live your life, then who cares? I mean, I care. I care because I don't want to have to rely on a pill, personally. Here's some takes. Use combo therapy pills by a person that should be taken off said pills for a certain time frame. Medication should be the last line. These are some takes. Whether they're on medication or not, no one's forced you to take pills. Those chemical imbalances. Like I said, I think I don't think taking, like, I guess, like I said, lazy is a bad word. I would say most people who think they have a mental illness or have been diagnosed are just uninformed and unmotivated to change. I feel like that's the biggest problem, is like a lot of people are just very, very unmotivated to do better for themselves. Because I don't think you guys realize like how many fucking people in our generation have now will tell you, maybe not diagnosed by a doctor, but will say, I would say it's over 70% within the age range of like maybe 16 starting. I don't know about the beginning age range, but 16 to maybe 28, 30. I would say like 60 to 70% are going to say they have some sort of psychosis or mental disability or mental illness. Like 70% will say they do. A certain chemical. Like, it is science. So now you believe in science, Tish. Interesting. More than what it is. I don't know. Like I said, I think you guys have like a good heart when you guys come to it, personally. And I hope you guys know, like, I'm not like shitting on people. I think you guys have a good heart because like you guys are looking out for that 1% who needs medication, who needs actual therapy. Maybe it's more than 1%. I'm talking about in the age range I was talking about, obviously, so that's a smaller 1%. Like, the majority of people, like everyone, I don't know. But I think within like young people, like, I just don't see that many people having mental disabilities, mental disorders, and shit like that. No one can buy a house, jobs, inflation's out of control, healthcare is inaccessible, violence on the rise. It's expected to be pessimistic about things. I mean, yeah, obviously people are gonna be pessimistic, but like, you don't want them to be. Like, why would you want to be one of those pessimistic people? Ship saying it's fake isn't okay. It's okay to say some people with mental illnesses it's fake. It's very okay to say that. Everyone has it. One person usually will take the anxiety and move on with it and learn how to deal with it. Exactly. So like, and this is something that is like, I can say to my point. So like, there's a lot of science and that supports both sides, but this is some science that supports my side. So like what Mighty was saying with the anxiety thing, if you take a pill, deal with anxiety, and so from now on your body is coping with anxiety through a pill. Your body's never going to learn to deal with that anxiety. So for example, I was that way with marijuana, and with like marijuana, like it made it hard for me to cope for things when I'm sober, because when that hormone of cortisol or whatever it was that was triggering me would come up, I would smoke and numb it. Starts the root of the issue, non-medical intervention, then meds. In surgical, obviously, there's a surgical intervention for mental health, but a lot of people seek the medication from previous levels, like people who'd rather take pain medication, strengthen your back. You were talking about, you were on a science thing, I was referring to a religion thing. But the big companies push pills. I mean, big companies, big pharma, especially within like psychiatrists and stuff, definitely push pills onto people, but I agree with that completely, Mighty. So they make it. It's hard to get medications for anxiety, so a lot of doctors don't prescribe meds for or whatever. There's a whole benzo over prescription issue. That's what I was about to say. I was saying, if you've never heard of benzos, I mean, benzos are still handed out like candy. I mean, all medications hand out like candy in America. That's why we have one of like the worst fucking rates of like drug addiction, homelessness. Because these people are good people. Like homeless people and drug addicts, they end up being like bad people because they steal and hurt people because they're drug addiction. But most people end up being decent people and get hooked on a prescription drug, and it turns into a mess. And then it's like, problem, you get immune to after taking for so long, then it stops working. It's best to try remedies yourself first. I have medication for now, but I haven't touched it because I don't want to try to work myself. It only helps so much. Yes, you gotta do a lot yourself, but you can't say that they don't help because it literally balances out chemicals. I mean, like I said, I believe in a lot of ways medication does help, but I believe in a lot of ways you don't need medication that people take anyways. That's the majority of their jobs. They typically work in a tandem therapist, unless you get your meds from a primary shady online company. So, for example, a therapist, a psychiatrist, anyone like that, a doctor, a hospital, a clinic, mostly everywhere in America, is a for-profit. We don't have free healthcare. So if you're sitting there saying all these psychiatrists and all these offices have your best, you know, I'm sure some of them do, have your best whatever in order in their thought, you're lying to yourself. They're trying to sell you something. They want you to come back to them. They want you on a medication, because if they prescribe you a medication that you take monthly, bi-monthly, it gets filled through their clinic. That makes them money through that pharmacy. So they are commissioned off of how many prescriptions they give out. So the more prescriptions they have, the more clients they have, the more money they make. And I'm just saying, in privatized healthcare, which is what we have, which is like the big deal, because like, oh, healthcare is for profit is what everyone says. We need free healthcare. But then the other side, there's like, oh, doctors, they have, you know, your best in mind. I don't know. I just feel like that's kind of naive. Doctors want you to be sick. Dentists want your teeth to have problems. Car folks want you to have problems. But the thing is, Cloud, people only feel that way when it suits their narrative. Shoes, and yes, you got to balance out meds and personal growth. Yeah. Tissue, no one's arguing that. And don't want to touch them. I'm gonna disagree with JK 100% on that. Not through their office, bro. I literally, I'll Google this bag. Therapist. So a therapist can makes up to 70-60% of their yearly income off of commission based from their prescriptions. A therapist, and that's a fact. You can't disagree with that. It's a fact. They don't want to be held liable. Well, yeah, but that's the thing. The thing is, if you have a simple issue like depression, you're not a medically complex patient. Like, here's the thing: is JCap, you have a real mental problem. You've said, and everyone around you probably has real mental problems, right? So it's gonna seem very real to you, and I'm sure you're around a lot of good people, but like at the end of the day, like the people who are getting taken advantage of the most aren't the people like you. They're the people who don't need the medication, is what we're saying, who get it but don't need it, not the people who need it for real, guys. See, Giraffe understands it, and they're not understanding it, and you guys are in a huge echo chamber right now. Like, no one's discrediting mental health. If anything, we're supporting you guys, but you're taking it in a very defensive way. I'm not saying you guys, I'm saying doctors, and even earlier, you guys like, oh, we need free healthcare. We need free healthcare. just in y'all's wording. It's not though. It's in an innate defensiveness some of you guys take on certain topics. Doctors actually do commission from some companies. I would say 90% of doctors in America get commission. And if you don't think that, then it's facts they refuse. Yeah, I agree with that. Like, you guys aren't even arguing the point. You're just like, I'm like bringing up points and you guys just change the point. No, all my medications are filed through a third party pharmacy, not through their office. That doesn't matter. That's the point. It's not their medicine. They're getting contracted. A doctor, a psychiatrist, to a certain extent, no matter what, is a middleman. Medicine company, doctor, to you. It's always going to be that way. No doctor makes their own medicine. I mean, some might. Snake oil salesman. You're saying it's lost in translation? Gave doctors commission for prescribing their pills. The fucking vaccine, the COVID vaccine, was giving out commissions. A lot of people are lying to doctors to get meds for issues, and they're gonna have whatever. But what's your solution for that? Are we gonna question every single person who says they're gonna have a mental health diagnosis? I mean, I don't have the perfect solution for it, but I do think people are lying to their doctors. I think doctors are lying to people, and that's like very like I don't understand how that's not believable. Like, people lie all the fucking time for attention. Like, literally, we fucking are on the internet, and we see and watch the most insane people lie about these very, very things. And there are plenty of people that I think are going to come out in the next 10 to 15 years from our generation who are going to be like, wow, taking all those pills and forcing this mental health crisis on myself really, really just fucked me up growing up. And like I said, I completely support people with actual mental health. I fucking always will. And I'm not like here to say, oh, we should question people that way they can't get their pills when people really do. I'm trying to help people who are going through that open their eyes and realize that they don't need to be doing this. They don't need to lie to their doctor. They don't need to be doing all this shit. I'm not here saying, oh, we need to put in a survey to make sure and this will turn people away. Like I obviously that'll never work. I can never do anything like that. But like, obviously, like, if someone in my chat was like thinking like, oh, do I have anxiety? Do I have depression? I need to go see a doctor, and they might prescribe me a pill. Because if you don't think like a doctor, you can go see a psychiatrist your very first day, a doctor your very first day, and walk out with a prescription. You go to somebody else to buy this specific medication. I'll say a lot more classified as trauma worthy for a lot. I will say there's a lot more classified as trauma worthy for a lot of little things. Now, dude, there's insane amounts of trauma that you can go through depression, you go through anxiety, and you can go through years of depression, years of anxiety. But the thing is, if that anxiety has a problem or a root or a cause, then yeah. Medicare, because of fraud, and the fraud cases make up less than 2% of cases. Like, the majority of people who receive those services need them, but they deny treatment options to people who need them that might be lying is fucked. I mean, like I said, I'm not saying we should deny them. I never said that, but it's people lying to get opioids from doctors. Someone works in hospitals, ERs, clinics. Patients do lie. They do get meds. I promise it happens. My mom is a nurse. My sister's a nurse. My grandma's a nurse. People really break their own leg, smash their own hand, fucking close their hand in a car door to fucking break their leg in half. Do whatever they can to get fucking opioids. That being on a widespread enough level to enact action. No one's saying enact action. I've not even said that once. I'm literally just saying that, like, you as an individual should think and think critically about yourself, your own mental health, and what doctors are telling you. Kill them. I'm addressing Giraffe. I mean, I honestly would respect Giraffe's take on a lot on this, because he has an insight I don't think any of us would have. Literally impaired me from doing shit because I was shaking, crying out of fear of going out somewhere because I thought I was gonna go every which way. I mean, like I said, with anxiety, like, situation to get the meds, he isn't attacking anyone who needs meds. Meds are actually governed by a list. Most doctors will flag a person for drug-seeking behavior. Dude, most you know how easy it is fucking to abuse drugs that legally? Like, I would say most people abuse drugs through their doctor. Not most people, actually, I take that back. But, like, I know of a lot of people who do. Like, getting like pills, like prescriptions. Like, I know straight up addicts who have prescriptions written by doctors. To make it easier. No, I agree with the first part of that, but I don't. I think while you're taking the pill, it's easier. But once you come off the pill, it will not be easier. It'll be the opposite. But that's any drug. That's like that's with any kind of thing. But that's just kind of like a detoxing, I guess, effect. For flag people why opioids and meds are controlled substances. I mean, yeah, it's not a crisis yet because we're in the beginning of it, Giraffe, and people aren't realizing it. But I think soon people will realize there's a widespread mass hysteria, and the hysteria is people think that they have these mental issues that they don't have. It's hard to abuse antidepressants because they're non-addictive. It's not hard. It's not that they're abusing antidepressants because of the feeling or the emotion. It's because they're lied to, whether by themselves, social media, people around them, their upraising. They're not getting enough fair like parenting or role modeling from people, and it's leading them to take these antidepressants, these other things, which they become reliant on. Even if you don't need it and you start taking an antidepressant, your body will become reliant on it, and it'll make permanent life-altering changes to your body, whether you like it or not, and that's a problem. Just because of a remembrance issue. And like I said, I think some people definitely need those medications. I know they do. But people abusing antidepressants are definitely a thing. It could happen to a very small number of people. No, it is. What do you mean? So the very definition of an antidepressant is a permanent. It does permanently alter, but it is altering your body. And I'm not saying in a bad way. No way, JK. Okay, now that's 100% cap. I could halfway agree with all the other ones. Dude, the very definition of the drug is to. Anytime you alter your chemicals, your body's never gonna be the same. It's not permanent, temporary state, which is why they're taking daily multiple times a day. So for example, I'll tell you this. And this goes with a lot of fucking hormones. Take one pill and you're happy. It's not what I'm saying. And you're not listening because dude, JK, why are you fighting me on this, bro? First of all, dude, no way you say it's not a permanent change. That is a very well-known fact. Bro, anytime you affect the natural way your body fucking changes chemicals. For example, someone who takes meth for months and months on end, and they're constantly fucking frying their brain with chemicals. They're altering their everything in their body, all their hormones, all their chemicals. Any drug alters all your chemicals, alters all your hormones. You can't tell me it doesn't. No matter, even if it's antidepressants do the same thing. No matter what you take, no matter what it is, it's going to alter the way your body produces those chemicals. It's going to alter the way those chemicals are felt and affected, etc. Except a lot of times those chemicals isn't natural. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. It could alter it in a good or a positive or negative way. But like, one time and feel happy either, meds wear off over time. No. It definitely, like, maybe not a one-time use. Like, you take one pill, it fucks you forever. But if you take any kind of antidepressant for a year's time, like, for the rest of your life is not that long, you're going to have an altered chemical state in your body. The body readapts. It does readapt, but it doesn't go back to the same. It never will. Your body will never return to the state where you start. That's just life. Like, that's just actual, like, just science. Like, that's actual life. Like, my body's not gonna be the same when I'm 22 as when I'm 24 because my hormones change. So when you alter those chemicals and you move those hormones and you say you do it for 2 years and you come off of it, how your body would have processed, your body would have progressed without those hormones versus with is completely different. Like, this is not even something hard to explain to people. Like, this is pretty, like, I thought this was at least common knowledge. Like it does permanently affect it. If you're taking something that's completely altering a chemical for 2 years, like anything like that. Man, you see some research. No shot you think of your body/chemical makeup. I mean, you can. I didn't even know what research to show you on that. I think that's like pretty evident. It's like someone taking hormones for a year, and it's like okay, they stop taking the hormones. Are they gonna be where they would be in that 1 year on the hormones versus if they didn't be off the hormones, like they're just going back? Or they're selling Adderall because he hated it? Oh, definitely don't recommend selling it because it's just illegal. Adderall is also addictive. People abuse it all the time. Well, I don't believe. I definitely, when it comes to addiction, I believe you could be addicted to things without it being like a chemical addiction. So like I don't even know how to explain that without making more sense. It makes sense. So what I'm saying, right? So like, let me pause this. All right. So if I take an antidepressant for 1 year, and so this is me before and this is me after. All right. So this is me after the antidepressant. All right. And let's say in an alternate timeline, we reverse it and we go back in time, but I'm still me. And I say, all right, Eli, don't take that antidepressant. And I go back in the future 1 year and I go and look at that same Eli. And we both start from that one baseline. Me doing medication for a year, the other Eli not doing the medication for a year. And we go on another year's time, or another 10 years time. Where I will be mentally, physically, or whatever it is, will be different. It'll be different. Friends trade their medication all the time, or one of them would get a source. So if you don't have enough of the chemical for their body to reproduce it, then theoretically they'd start eventually. You'll probably be able to function. Well, exactly. So how was I wrong? Revert back to the normal state. Bro, dude, it's the same thing if you like take steroids. It's the same thing if you take like any kind of like chemical hormonal altering substance. Like people who abuse weed have this problem after taking antidepressants. Isn't that the point though? Take out their kush now. What's going on? Steroids wear off. Bro, dude, no. Bro, no. You guys are no, Tish. Yes, steroids wear off. Oh my god. Fucking moody. Antidepressants is more of a mental conditioning in a way. With antidepressants, a person will consider they don't have an illness anymore. Yikes. So for example, like I guess with like steroids, like if you take steroids and you stop taking steroids and your fucking balls, or for example, you take the steroid HGH. HGH is human growth hormone, and your nose grows from the HGH, or your ears grow. It'll go back. You're saying they permanently change your chemical makeup. Steroids will change your body forever. Bro, I don't even know how to explain this to you people. I'm so confused. Like, dude, this is stuff I learned in like high school. Bro, everything you put in your body changes. Food, water, like the amount of water you drink, everything changes your body forever, depending on how you use or take it. Do you know how steroids work? Cloud said. Will affect you in some way, longer short term. Bro, I'm not even saying anything. Bro, I had all these hot takes, and then the one take that's normal is the one people are caught up on. Like, how could you possibly think putting a chemical in your body made by man? Some of these chemicals have chemical substances that are similar to fucking meth and cocaine. They're like just a couple ingredients based off meth and cocaine. And all the time we talk about the insane permanent effects meth and cocaine have on people over years and years and years and years and years of fucking use. And then we say, oh, this chemical doesn't. You know, once you go off of it, after a while, you'll go back to normal. Stop taking it. The effects will wear off after time. So we can do 7 hours. I'm just saying overall. I mean, even prednisone. So prednisone is like an inflammatory steroid, right? I'm pretty sure. I don't really know much about prednisone. I'm sure it's an inflammatory steroid. So let's say you didn't take the prednisone and you went through the inflammatories. So then you'd have a reoccurring injury that could get worse. That could lead to long-lasting effects. Versus you take the prednisone, you get rid of the injury, and you go live a healthy life. So, for example, if you took the prednisone versus not take the prednisone, it's in completely different places. Give us another hot take. Bro, the only take I gave you that wasn't hot. First of all, the way you ingest things matters. The dosage, the chemical makeup, the route entry, etc. matters. Well, yeah, I never said it didn't. I'm gonna die from the fucking apple? No. Oh, yeah. Well, okay. I'm following. Fake the need for it, but people who will benefit from the chemical help. No one disagreed with that, Tish. That was the point all along. It's because there isn't enough cyanide. But if you eat enough of it, you will. That's what I'm saying. You 40 penance, you can die. That's in chat. At the end of the day, like, I agree with a lot of your guys' points, but if you invested enough, you would die. Need it? Look stupid. I guess I'm not even saying like we should fucking like question people and not give people medication. I like my goal in life is like, so here's something that I realized a long time ago, and I think you guys will benefit from learning this too. And this isn't like a factual thing. This is just an opinion-based thing. You as an individual, even me included, probably won't like make like a lot of like solutions in life. Like we've been on this planet for, not me personally, but just as a human, we've been here for thousands of years. Human beings or millions, however you want to believe, what your belief system is. So you as an individual probably won't make a lot of solutions as far as like policies, like, oh, this is the end all be all for mental health or end all be all for weight loss or whatever it is. Because if it was out there, it would probably been discovered by someone way smarter than me or you, or just over time just come across. So what I recommend to people is, I'm not like, oh, here's what we need to do to get people from faking mental health crises. The people within my community, the people I know, the people I reach out and I talk to, I'm gonna like tell them like, hey, like, you know, what I think is up, and not like, oh, like this is what we need to do. You know what I mean? No, because medication is more than just, well, this is a bad thing, you know, and benefits, like the risk outweighs the benefits. Yeah, but I don't know what you mean by that, JK. Like, no one was arguing. Like, chemo, like, let me read this to you. Like, chemo is literally radiation. I'm gonna go buy some chemo off the street and inject it all in my veins. No, because medication is more than just, well, this is one bad thing, so there are no benefits. Like, it's whether or not the risk outweighs the benefits. Well, okay. I agree with that. I never disagreed. Doctors should question their prescription, because if you administer a med you shouldn't have, then you're putting your patient at risk. I mean, like I said, I don't know what the solution to any of this shit is, to be honest. Like, good job. I just enjoyed the hot take. This was fun. I mean, I enjoy hot takes all the time. Just enjoy giving my opinion for once, and you had a good opinion. People say meth is bad, but the logic of Adderall is bad, because you're saying that meth and Adderall are the same. People, I never said meth and Adderall are the same. Rewatch the VOD. So by that logic, Adderall is bad. I don't think Adderall is bad. I think abusing, if you take Adderall and you don't need it, it is bad. If you need Adderall, it is good. Don't get rid of it, but make it more accurate. Chemo is not radiation. They are two separate therapies. Yeah, med checks are quite common and they should be done quite regularly. Adderall is kind of bad, but like what JCat said, like some people, like their ADHD is so fucking bad, like the benefits of Adderall outweigh the consequences. So like, is Adderall overall bad? For most people, probably. Yes. But for a lot of people, no. It's probably really good for them. And without it, they probably can't function very highly. Like I said, I think like a lot of like the things that you guys are talking about is like mostly like can be solved. And like not by Google or studies. Like a lot of it, like also the doctor shit, like talk to a doctor, someone who's been to school for, but like as far as like the process of thinking whether you need to go get a certain type of help is most of the time like very the best way to do it is just by like logically thinking yourself through the steps, and a lot of people don't do that, is all I'm saying. Like I think a lot of people who are faking it don't even know they're faking it. They actually think they have it. If you weren't consequences of taking meds, then it would require a prescription. Again, it's a percentage thing down to each individual's. It's also highly overprescribed to people. Oh, dude, when I was in college, everybody was fucking taking Adderall. Or cheeseburgers are bad for you too, and I don't recommend people eating cheeseburgers. I don't recommend people eating artificial sugars. I don't recommend people fucking drinking 4 Monsters a day, but I still do it. It's February 20th. I'm very excited to vent to a professional. You got this. Like, bro, I once knew this girl who her family paid for the psychiatrist or therapist. She was on medication, all this shit, and she told me that she would lie to her therapist. I was like, what? She's like, well, it's just too embarrassing, or I just don't know what to say, or I don't want them to think I'm like not this or that, or whatever. And so, like, I mean, that's one example, but just watch their face. Yeah, I couldn't imagine like paying for someone to fix me only to lie to them so they can't accurately fix me. Not fix you, but you know what I mean. They don't like fix you, but they try to help you. It's wild to me. I think, like, as cringe as the red pill thing is, like I said, I don't fucking associate the red pill, Bugattis and women, fuck that. I more like associate the red pill with like accepting the hard truth. So like for example, the easiest one we can probably all agree on is Adderall bad for you overall? Yes, but do some people need it and will help that person function highly without it, where they couldn't without it? Yes, and I think this goes for everything. And I think some people obviously think they need Adderall that don't, and some people get it for attention. They get it for the drug. Exactly. You can't overdose and make your kidneys fail on a handful of cheeseburgers. Yeah, but a fuck ton of cheeseburgers you could kill yourself on. I mean, like, dude, I don't want to get into food because I think obesity is a huge problem in America. You guys know that. Like, I think like eating is just as fucking bad with alcohol. I think alcohol is bad. Affect the body differently. Bad people who lie. Like, at the end of the day, it's all about guys, listen. Everyone shut the fuck up and listen to me. At the end of the day, it's all about how fat your cock is, how big's your ass. Are you subscribed to cynicalul on YouTube? If you haven't already, go subscribe. I got some great content. I post twice a day. I fucking love you guys.